Good morning! How your baby daddy, your sister, and your cousin I'm doing? And your hubby too. How y'all living, fam? It is another amazingly beautiful day up in this big. And it's time for another blizzard. What's up, you guys? Hopefully you guys are having a great day or night, week or weekend, whenever y'all are watching this video right here, okay? First and foremost, disregard, hold on, I should probably turn this, hold on. Turn this down a bit, it's a little bright. I am working, we are recording content, okay? But I have so much to update you guys on, so much to share with you guys. It's been a while since we've been here on this vlog channel, okay? And I have a lot of content to share with you guys, right? But I wanted to kind of go and make sure that I did this in order, because obviously you guys know the main reason I vlog is so that I have the memories of everything that we've done, everything that we've you know, done with the kids, family, friends, all the things. And I wanna make sure that everything is done in order. So there's lots of stuff coming up, okay? But I wanted to kind of give you guys a rundown of how things have been this particular year, because this has been a very tough transitional year for all of us, right? More specifically for the kiddos and more specifically for my baby girl. So if you follow me on Instagram, Socialite Sande, S-A-N-D-E, okay? Socialite, 1 L. I know some people like to put 2 in there. Don't ask why, I don't know. But follow me on Instagram. You'll get more real-time updates on what's going on with us. But if you've been following me on Instagram, you guys have an idea of what's been going on. But I wanted to kind of go more in-depth as to what's been going on, more specifically with Jayla'S journey, because I know so many of you have reached out, sent me DMs, messages, emails, all the things, kind of sharing what you've been dealing with. Whether it's that you are dealing with special needs children or dealing with a special needs child, or you're in the process of getting your child diagnosed or evaluated. Whatever stage you're in, right? I'm hoping that whatever I share with you guys gives you guys some good insight. Keep in mind, I'm not a professional by any stretch. I'm just kind of going through all of this and growing through all of this as I go, right? But I'm hoping that in me sharing this journey, that it helps any of you guys out there that have questions, that are looking to seek help, support, and all the things for your child or children, okay? And then again, it's just a way for me to document, okay? So, let's just start off, okay? And I'm gonna be inserting some clips from earlier this year so you guys can get an idea of what was happening in real time, when it was happening, when it was occurring, and everything that I shared with you along that way. And then I'll be able to kind of pop in and share with you guys some of the more in-depth things that I couldn't share with you guys on Instagram when I shared some of these things with you guys. So, as you guys know, the kids are in 3rd grade this year, which is a very huge transition year for any child, okay? And was a very difficult transitional year for not just Jayla, but also Jackson as well. There is a lot more independence sought after, right? The teachers are looking for more of that independence. They're looking for the kids to more independently follow up on the things they need to send home, take back to school, give to the teachers, homework, etc., right? And there's a lot of other things as well. Their education, the things that they're learning in school, a lot more difficult. In a lot of cases, not as much support is given in those instances as well. And so this year in particular has been very rough, or was rougher for Jayla this year, but also Jackson too. I noticed at the very beginning of the year that, you know, Jayla was really not excited about going to school. Now, she's never been one that's been excited about going to school. Period, okay? If you know, you know, right? She's never been just doing cartwheels and all the things, heading off to school, right? She's not exactly a morning person either. However, this particular year, I sensed a lot more hesitation in going to school. And then as I kind of dove into asking her more questions and asking her why she hasn't been as excited about going to school, I realized as she was kind of sharing with me that she didn't seem to have the most not necessarily the best relationship with her teacher this year, okay? Now keep in mind, this particular teacher was actually recommended to us by her previous teacher, who was absolutely amazing, okay? And so of course, by default, because she recommended this teacher to Jayla, by default, we assumed that this would be a great fit for her and that things would go off without a hitch. Obviously, we're going to, I'm going to monitor, make sure things are going the way they should. She has an IEP, you guys know I'm very proactive when it comes to both kids. But because she was recommended by the previous teacher and because the previous teacher was so incredibly hands-on, by default, I assumed that all was good, right? And that this teacher that she was placed with was a great fit for Jay. We soon realized, after really diving into asking the questions and kind of getting an idea of exactly why Jayla was so hesitant about going to school, that, she wasn't having the most, she wasn't having the best time with her new teacher, okay? And there's a lot of things that kind of, really lended to that. But for me, the biggest and most important thing was that, one, I want her to feel comfortable with being able to ask questions of the teacher, to communicate with the teacher, to feel comfortable with walking up to the teacher if there's something that's going on in school, whether it's something that she needs help with homework or a test or whatever the case may be. But in addition to that, anything else that happens at school, right? I want her to feel comfortable with whoever she's with, that she's able to walk up to that individual and express how she feels, however that is, okay? And with Jayla, she's very much, I've always said she's an empath. I think I've shared this with you guys before. She's very much one who reads others. And if she's not trusting, because she doesn't trust easily, okay? And she's very much like me in that regard. If she's not trusting, you're gonna know that off the bat, right? And from the very beginning, I noticed that a lot of what she was saying was that her teacher wasn't helping her, that she would ask for help and the teacher was kind of saying that you can do this on your own, you've got this, that type of thing. Using a lot of, you got this, I can't help you, you can do this, you got this. And just kind of giving her back the assignment or the homework or the test or whatever it is, letting her know, leading her to, hey, I'm not helping you. You got this, right? We're at the stage now where you do this on your own without my assistance. Understand that if there was not an IEP in place and the supports that I have in her IEP in place, okay, that this would be a completely different scenario. But because I know the supports that she needs, because I have those things in her IEP, okay, and because I'm very familiar with what's in her IEP and all the things, a lot of what was triggering her before she went to school, whether it was during the weekend, prior to her Monday, okay, when she knew she had to be at school Monday morning, and that type of thing, I noticed that, one, she was hesitant. Two, she was bawling her eyes out. She was uncomfortable. She was unhappy. She was not in a place of feeling 100% comfortable with her teacher, right? And even though Jayla's not the most trusting of people, she's one of the kindest people on the planet. And so she's going to give you grace. She's going to give you an opportunity to allow her to trust you. But the minute she doesn't feel like you're trustworthy, she's going to back away. And I noticed that with her, she just was not, this was not working. Whatever relationship started out at this beginning of the year with her current teacher was not working out, okay? I reached out to the teacher so many different times, expressed to her my concerns, of course, expressed to her all the things that were in her IEP that are available for her for support. Not only spoke to her by email, by message, in person as well, okay? Been doing this since the very beginning of school. The minute I started to notice there was some hesitation with Jay was the minute I started to ask the questions, and the minute Jayla'S shared with me how she was feeling about how she felt she was being supported in school and how she felt there was no support for her in school by her teacher, okay? And she felt like she was just being thrown to the dogs, okay? Just thrown out there, no training wheels, right? The more I pressed on the teacher to kind of say, okay, here's the thing. We have an IEP in place because there are certain supports that are supposed to be available for her. And that I know, although we are heading into 3rd grade and we are teaching the kids more independence, there are certain kids, especially if they have these things laid out in their IEP, they do have certain things that are available for them to allow them that grace, that allows them the time to get to that place of being independent in that regard, regardless of what that task is, okay? So there was a point in time where I felt like I was literally losing Jayla. I felt like her personality was being stripped away. Every single weekend, she dreaded going to school on that Monday. We would have to almost coax her to go to school every single weekend. Sunday evenings were miserable because she would be crying her eyes out saying she didn't want to go to school. She didn't want to see her teacher because her teacher doesn't support her. Her teacher's not helping her. She's asking her questions, and she would express her frustration of not getting the support that she felt she needed for the topics in school that were more difficult for her. And not just the topics. It could be little things like making sure to send certain paperwork home and send it back to the teacher. Those are things that Jayla needs assistance with. That's in her IEP. But because she's in 3rd grade now, the teacher was kind of like, you got this, you got it, go with it, you got this. And I'd be like, hold on now. Remember, there are baby steps that need to be taken before you just throw out there, right? Allow her to get accustomed to riding on the training wheels before taking the training wheels off, okay? With that said, this is where we started off our journey. Good morning. What is today? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hopefully you guys are having a phenomenal hump day. Oh my God, your girl is exhausted, you guys. First, can I tell you guys, I cannot thank you guys enough for the love you guys have sent my way. When I say I got so many messages yesterday and the day before, I'm still responding to messages, okay? And I'm trying to respond to every single one of them, but I cannot thank you guys enough for the support you guys have sent my way. You guys have given me advice. I'm going to probably ask for more because your girl is going through it. Both of us, actually all 4 of us, child. I'm fighting for my life out here. This has been the longest month of life. I don't even know what to say. And y'all know me, I can talk. Okay? I am so overwhelmed, you guys. And understand, I'm very much a transparent person, okay? But I also hold back a lot, right? I'm also one of those people who I will fight on my own before I actually ask for help. I am not the girl who asks for help, okay? Meanwhile, I'm the mom who encourages my children to speak up for themselves and ask for help. But I am not that mother because I can do it all. That's what's in my head because I can, right? But, you know, I'm in a state where I need help. I'm in a state where I need help. I'm in a state where I need help. And I'm very open and willing to admit that. As you guys know, Jayla is autistic. She has ADHD, texture aversion, severe anxiety, amongst a couple other things as well. And you guys know we've always known that, even before she was diagnosed. It's just something you just know in your heart of hearts. I had her evaluated years and years and years ago, before she even got into preschool. She's had an IEP since the beginning of time, since she started school, okay? Got into preschool earlier than Jackson did, because we just wanted to be proactive. I've always been a proactive person when it comes to how I handle the kids, right? But this specific year has been a tough one for my daughter. She is really going through some things right now. And we're feeling it. This has been one of the most trying times I've ever been through in my life. And I don't mean, and it's not even me, right? But because I'm Mama Bear, and I'm the protector, right? And daddy's going through this too. But I'm taking on most of the responsibility because he's got other things going on too, right? He's got to provide for the family. He's, at work, I don't want to, overwhelm him with any more than he can handle, right? Because he's got other fish to fry, you feel me? I am literally, we are in the thick of it, you guys. I feel like I'm going through a battle that I'm slowly losing. My baby girl has been going through it, you guys. And it's something that we've just been going through together, as a family. And I haven't shared much about until just recently. And I'm so overwhelmed by the responses in a good way, right? Because you guys have been absolutely amazing. And so many of you guys have been part of our fam bam since I started my journey as an influencer, not even influencer, content creator, right? Back in 2010, you guys, I've been doing this for a minute, y'all, okay? And have been there BK before kids, so y'all are family to us, right? And I appreciate y'all and I love y'all, and yeah, just being transparent. A lot of what she's exhibiting, a lot of the behaviors and the emotions she's expressing are things that I haven't seen since she was 2 and 3 years old, which scares me because it feels for me like she's regressing. And understand, if you guys have been a part of our journey all these years, you guys know that she's had a lot of therapy, okay? When she was 2 and 3 years old, we had behavioral specialists in our house regularly, occupational therapists in our house regularly, language specialists in our house regularly, all of which helped so incredibly much. And she's had some incredible years and she's pushed through so many different challenges, but it's almost like we're going back in time now. And it's almost like she's back to 2 and 3 years old, if that makes sense. This has been a really hard year for Jayla girl, okay? For so many different reasons. And now heading into 3rd grade, and if you guys have kids that have been through this or that are going through this, 3rd grade is a very big transitional year for any child, right? There's so much more responsibility put on the child, okay? They're trying to teach more responsibility and independence with children at this age. And so there's a lot of change happening, right? And Jayla is really feeling that, right? And I think with just her getting older and her being more aware of things, she's starting to internalize the things that are happening around her, and it's really coming out in a lot of very big emotions, right? It's just been really hard. This has been the hardest year I've ever experienced. I feel like I'm losing her. And I don't know what to do about it. I'm doing everything that I can. And I will do whatever I can. Because she is one of the brightest, most beautiful, most loving little girls on the planet. But she's having a really hard time. Sorry. So yeah, we are in the thick of it. We are in the thick of it, but We will never give up on that girl. You understand me? And come hella high water, child, we're going to do whatever we can to help her and get her through this. And last night, Juice and I were talking, and I said, baby, I feel like we're going through war. And we just got to make sure that we don't lose ourselves in this war. Do you understand? We are a united front, so we got to stay there because it's taxing you guys. It's affecting Daddy and I. It's affecting Jackson. So today, we are taking a mental health day. I'm keeping the kids home from school because one, Jayla had a meltdown last night, and it was hard to kind of get her to, to calm down and get back to that center, right? Which caused both her and Jackson to go to bed a little later than expected last night. And I don't want to send Jayla to school in that state. I don't want to send Jackson to school in that state. And so I'm going to keep them home today and just love on them. We're going to play, and we're going to do the things that we do, okay? And then we're going to send them to school tomorrow. But I just wanted to just be open and transparent with y'all because why not? I've got some more research to do on some things that I'm looking into to try to help baby girl in school, outside of school. And we are going to just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. So if any one of you guys have reached out to me, or friends, family that have hit me, text me, called me, and I haven't gotten back to you, this is why. Because honestly, I am fighting for my life out here and fighting, more importantly, for my baby girl's life. And I can only deal with what's in front of me, if that makes sense. Say a prayer for baby girl. And if you have any advice, please let me know. And again, thank you guys who have reached out. Because, honey, y'all don't play about the baby's child, okay? You don't play about your internet cousins, okay? It means the world to me, so thank you. And yeah, we are going to get through today. And we're going to take everything one step at a time, right? Y'all, this sun feels absolutely amazing. I'm in a parking lot right now, taking a breather. Just got done with my workout. Very much needed it. The music was everything. Ooh, felt good. I hope you guys have an amazing hump day. And I promise you guys, I will keep you posted on how all this goes. I promise. Love y'all.
So as you guys can see, I was an emotional wreck. And it wasn't just me. Daddy was going through it too, when we went to Tulsa. That was her biggest meltdown because she knew on Monday we were heading back to school. And on that last day that we were in Tulsa, she was bawling her eyes out. I'll never forget this. She was bawling her eyes out because she didn't want to go, because she felt like her teacher was not there to support her, that her teacher was making things even more difficult for her. She was frustrated and she was upset. She's like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to be around my teacher. I just don't want that. Jackson expressed how she felt the teacher was treating her as well. Just from what he observed. Keep in mind, they're not in the same class, okay? But they're in a space where he's able to see her in certain instances, and just from what he shared, he didn't feel like the teacher was giving her the proper supports either. That being said, your girl raised a ruckus, to make a long story short. And I know I've shared this on Instagram, and I'm going to tell you continuously to do this. I shared this on Instagram as well. But when you feel as though your child, whether they're neuro, non-neuro, neurodivergent, or whatever the case, special needs, doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter, okay? If you don't feel your child is being supported the way they should be supported, cause a ruckus. I'm always going to tell you that. I'm always going to tell anybody that. And I don't mean anything unprofessional. Keep it cute, okay? Because you don't want anything to backfire. But also make sure that you know the legalities and the things that you legally, okay, are able to use in your back pocket to be able to say, hold up, y'all aren't doing what you're supposed to do from a legal perspective. Okay? Be ready for those conversations, because especially when you have a special needs child, you want to make sure that you're equipped with what is needed. I'm always going to also say to get an advocate for your child. If you have a special needs child, get an advocate. I'm so grateful for mine. Okay? And so for months, we went through going back and forth with not just the principal and the assistant principal. Daddy and I had at least 2 meetings with, oh God, we've had what? 1, 2, 3, at least 3 meetings. One of which was with the assistant principal and the principal of the school. Another 2 of which were 2 separate additional IEP meetings to update her IEP, to make sure we're looking through all of the jargon within our IEP to make sure that not only are we all straight, but that the teacher's straight with what's in her IEP that she should be supporting my daughter with, okay? That the counselors are all on board, that the principal and the assistant principal are all on board, okay? It was a battle. You know, and it wasn't that they were fighting us, because our school is amazing. I'm not going to sit here and say that our school's not, but this particular teacher was just every teacher is different. Every teacher has a different personality. Every teacher has a different learning style. Not every teacher is going to be the warmest, right? We just happened to have an incredibly warm teacher last year. She is not the warmest teacher. Now, has she warmed up? Yes. But it was after I caused the ruckus. And when I say that, it's called, I'm saying call them out on their ish. Call them out. If you know your rights, use them, okay? And so here's where I was midway through the journey. Okay, Jackson wanted to say hello.
And Mellow.
And Mellow.
Hey, you. Hold on.
Hi, Boo-Boosh. My Boo-Boosh, my baby. He's so cute. I just love him. Okay, so last I checked in with you guys, my intention was to schedule an emergency IEP meeting for Jayla Girl, which we've done. Okay, that is going to be at the end of this week, right? Our intention is to basically kind of go over what we had talked about at the end of last year and update it in accordance to what we think is going to best support her this year, okay? So that's the obvious reason for having done that. The other thing that I'm working on doing, actually, I've confirmed it, but there have been some, let me just fill you in. So I arranged for someone from an organization that I work with to go and observe Jayla for a few hours, at least a couple hours at school, to kind of see how she does with her topic matter for some of the more difficult topics like math, that type of thing, but also to see how she does with transitioning from class to class, when she gets pulled for her sessions, her individual one-on-one sessions, etc. So whenever you schedule someone to go and observe on your behalf how your child is doing in school, typically it can be 1 to 2 hours, that type of thing, typically, okay? They want to get a good snapshot into how things are going at school, how your child is doing behaviorally, or whatever it is that your focus is, right? We're looking at everything, right? And that is the essential goal, okay? It's also to give us some better insight on how we can better support Jayla for the IEP meeting, okay? Upon trying to get it scheduled, I was told by the school that they only allow a maximum of 30 minutes for someone to come and observe. Obviously, they have to announce their visit. I have to let them know ahead of time who it is, all the things. They have to fill out paperwork, which is understandable. But the max is 30 minutes. Depending on your school, the administration of said school can actually approve for you to be given more time. Because, truth be told, 30 minutes is not enough time to get a good idea of just how she's doing in school, how she's doing behaviorally in school, how she does with transitions, how she's doing with going into her different one-on-one sessions throughout the course of the day, okay? So I was shooketh to find out that they only allow 30 minutes. And when I asked / requested more time, okay, I was told very abruptly, we can only do a max of 30 minutes. In addition to the fact that someone from administration also has to be present with the rep we have as well. So yeah, there's that, which shocked me because when I spoke to my advocate, they said, well, it's up to the principal to decide. I came into the office because kids and all the things, and daddy's trying to take garbage out and all that stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I asked if it was possible for us to get more time, and I was abruptly told no. And if they want to come another day, they can, but they can only do 30 minutes every single time. The times they gave me that were available for this person to visit were times that Jayla'S not getting pulled, because I know her whole schedule. And one of the times they gave me was when she first arrives at school. So basically, she wouldn't even be in school session. She'd essentially be putting her stuff away in her locker and that type of thing, which I'm like, I don't want to see how she prepares for the day. I want to see how she does while school's happening in some of the topic matter that she has more difficulty with, et cetera, okay? So yeah, yeah. Also, side note, and I'm here for it. I just hope it's sincere, right? There's been a lot more feedback from the teacher towards Jayla coming home since my last conversation with the assistant principal, which is great. I hope it's sincere. I hope it's real. I hope it's not some fugazi stuff that is just simply because we have an IEP meeting scheduled this week, because there was nothing happening when I was complaining before this, okay? Up until last week when I was like, hands down, I will switch her. Like, I don't have a problem with changing my daughter's teacher. Do not get it twisted. Understand that once I said that, all of a sudden there's more feedback coming home in her books that are coming home, her notebook that she has to sign every day to let us know what's happening in school and all the things, emails and all the things. We missed her and all the things. None of that was happening prior to, okay? Just up until these last few days. So, yeah. So, yeah, you know, not gonna lie, this has been incredibly it's been difficult. And this particular teacher that Jayla has is someone that's very popular, someone who is well acclaimed, highly acclaimed in the sense of the degree she has and all the things. She is popular in the sense that everybody wanted her this year, and I get that, right? Doesn't take away from the fact that she might be the most amazing teacher ever, but we're trying to make sure that this is the best fit for Jayla. And then I also want to make sure that even if this ends up being okay and it works out and we can work things out with the teacher, that we're also adding the additional support she needs. But the better way for us to do that is for us to be able to observe to see how she's doing. And since I physically can't be there, okay, to physically look at it, because you guys know I would, I'm that mom, but I would be a distraction. So sending someone else who's not, that Jayla doesn't know, is the best way to do it. Needless to say, this has been a little bit difficult. And, you know, yesterday I was feeling defeated, which is why I didn't get back on camera, because I was like, one thing about me is you can never tell me no. Not happening. Second of all, to have been told that, yeah, there's absolutely nothing we can do to add more time to the amount of time that this person would come and observe Jayla, and it's literally for the betterment of Jay, is concerning to me. Also, this particular teacher happens to be very highly acclaimed, right? This is the teacher everybody wanted. This is the teacher who has a ton of degrees, right? She's considered one of the best teachers at the school. She's been there for years and all the things, and I was told all of that. And here's the thing. This is not to take away from who she is as a teacher. She might be the most amazing teacher ever. I just need to make sure that this is the right fit for her, for Jayla, okay, more importantly. And I need to make sure that Jayla's getting the most support she possibly can get for her to have a great year this year. So this has honestly been difficult, right? I was not expecting the response I got back from the assistant principal, letting me know that they would only allow 30 minutes. We've had her observed before, prior to this, at the exact same school, and there was no specific limit in regards to the amount of time. Now, they don't spend all day there, but they spend enough time to get a good snapshot into how Jayla'S doing at school in general. So to now be told that we're only given 30 minutes is crazy. I will say this, this particular teacher is a very popular one. It's one that's highly acclaimed. She has all these degrees and all these things, and everybody wants her as a teacher. And that doesn't take away from her as a teacher at all. I'm not trying to downplay who she is as a teacher. I just want to make sure that this person is the right fit for Jayla. And if it does work out that we can figure out this gap that's in this little bridge here that I'm trying to gap, what we're going to be able to do to best support Jayla so she has a better rest of the year. Even my advocate was like, I'm so surprised that they're not willing to let you have more than 30 minutes. We're not looking for 8 hours, right? We're not trying to disrupt her day. In fact, this person would be coming in and observing from the outside, and Jayla wouldn't even know they were there for her specifically, okay? But they have the capacity to allow more time, and that's what's frustrating me, because you have the capacity to allow at least an hour, hour and a half of observation, and you're not allowing that. You're literally telling me that the most you can do is 30 minutes, and I think that's garbage. So my rep is going to go and observe her, and she's going to take as much time as they allow her to, right? The day of. I have her slated for her to see her and observe her in math, and then I'm going to schedule her again until she has enough input to give enough of what's needed to find out what we can do to best support Jay, period. Not gonna lie, I felt defeated yesterday because, this is actually not that big of a request, and it's actually pretty normal, okay, for people to request someone to come in and observe their child in school. And it is something that they could have allowed more time for. It is literally up to the administrative staff of whatever school you're at to determine if more time is allowed, okay? It's not just a hard rule. This is something they could literally allow more time for, and they're choosing not to, which in my personal opinion leads me to believe that they're trying to protect the teacher. And I get it if you feel as though I'm trying to take away from who that teacher is and who they are as a teacher, I guess, but that's not the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this to find the best way to support Jayla. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to take away from her accolades and accomplishments. I'm trying to help my daughter. So, if it requires us to do several visits or to schedule several visits for my rep to go and observe Jayla several different days, and that's what we're going to do, right? So we have her going this week, and then I'm going to schedule her again and again and again, for however long it takes for her to get what's necessary to make sure that whatever it is that's needed for Jay is provided, and that we're able to provide for her, okay? Because they didn't give me a maximum number of visits. They gave me a maximum amount of time. You find the loopholes and you take advantage of them because they're there, okay? And you do whatever you need to do for your child. So that's what we're doing. That's the update so far. This has been a frustrating process, I ain't gonna lie to you, but let me know if any of you guys have dealt with this before, and if you guys have any advice or feedback, holla at your girl, holla at me. So that's what's happening as of right now. We have to get the kids to all of their after school activities. Jayla has dance, Jackson has basketball, so we're gonna do that. Jayla's not feeling 200% her stomach. You guys know she still has stuff going on, still navigating all of that too. So yeah, we're just trying to, I don't know how, I think I did this. Anyway, we're navigating through all of this, right? Learning as we go, right? So hopefully this is giving you guys some insight for any of you guys that are dealing with this exact same thing. And like I said, if you guys have any feedback for me, I would appreciate it. Or if you guys dealt with this or have dealt with this or are dealing with this, please let me know, okay? But you guys already know, I'll do whatever it takes. If I have to sit in class and observe my child, which would be disruptive, But I'm the mama that will do it. I will. Because one thing you can't do is deny me access to my child. And if I have to do it, then we just got to do what it has to be done. Because child, listen, I'm not the one. So, right now, fast forward a month and a half or two, we're in a place now where she's getting reevaluated. And I don't have all the jargon, okay? But she's being really evaluated to be determined to update her IEP, basically. She's being reevaluated to update her IEP with additional supports that she needs throughout her 3rd grade and beyond journey, right? And it should have been something that was done the previous year, but because she doesn't necessarily come across autistic, which presents an entirely different situation, okay? And if you know, you know. It was recommended that she didn't need it. Yeah, she needs it. Because I want to make sure she has every support she needs to assist her in every subject, topic matter, or whatever the case in school. So, has it been difficult? Yes. Has it been a lot of crying? Oh my God, yes. Like right now, as I'm telling you this, it's after we've worked through a lot of this. And we're still in the process now, and I'll keep you guys updated. She's still in the process of being evaluated or reevaluated. Not for autism, because she's already been diagnosed officially, medically as well. But evaluated for additional support she needs in school that are specific to autism, okay, if that makes any sense. So we do have another IEP meeting scheduled coming up. This will be our 3rd in the last 2 months. And then I have another meeting scheduled with the principal and the assistant principal here very shortly to really just touch base to see how things have been going with Jayla and her teacher and any of the additional counselors and teachers that work with her at school. I will say this. Be as proactive as possible for your kids. Fight for them. You understand me? Don't be afraid of causing a ruckus. And when I say cause a ruckus, don't cause a ruckus in the way that they expect us to. You know what I'm trying to get at. Don't do that. Be smart. Find out what your rights are and use that. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, had I not had my advocate, had I not done the research, had I not checked in with a lawyer, because I did that too. I had many a conversation with a lawyer. Okay. Because I wanted to make sure that whatever it is that I was about to head into, that I knew every single thing that was laid out for me, so I could make sure that I could be there I could do everything I could to fight for my child, because they're gonna have what is needed. You feel me? But it has been the most trying year ever. I just bit my side of my cheek. It's been the most trying year ever. Now, have things gotten better? Abso-freaking-lutely. Amazing. Complete 180 to where it was just a couple months ago. But we had to fight for it. You know, it was meeting upon meeting upon meeting. It was conference call upon conference call upon conference call. I do get some in-home services for myself as a parent to help me better navigate this whole world of autism with my baby girl, to help navigate Jackson through this whole world of autism, okay? And to navigate all the IEP meetings and to make sure that all the things were there for Jayla for whatever she needs, right? And the people that I've worked with the organization we work with, are amazing, right? Highly recommend getting an advocate. Get an advocate, it's free. Get an advocate, it's free. And if you want more information, leave me questions. I'm more than happy to answer them in a future video. Advocate for your child. Okay? Do it. Because there is no one else that's going to do that for you, especially when they're this little. When they're this young, they're not going to advocate as much for themselves, right? My kids are only just now 9, okay? So be prepared to fight. And I don't mean anything but law fight, verbal fight, okay? We're talking fight, as in be prepared with the things that you have rights to. Be prepared with the things that legally they have to do. Be prepared with what you need to know in the back of your mind. And if you don't know it, research it. And if you can't research it, then find an advocate that can help you navigate it, okay? But what I can say is things are so much better now. Now, Are we done yet? No, we still have another meeting with the principal and the assistant principal to touch base about how things are going so far. We have another IEP meeting to determine exactly what she's categorized as in school. It's hard to explain. I'll go into more detail if you want me to. Just leave a comment down below. But all of these things are going to help give her the additional supports that she needs. So do what needs to be done for your child, because trust me, if you are a mom or a dad or parents of a or caregiver of a special needs children, this is how it's going to be. You're going to always have to fight for your children. Okay, be prepared for it. Have an advocate by your side, have a lawyer on deck, back pocket, okay? And know your rights, okay? So, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know down below. Right now we're at a stage where she is going to be reevaluated, not for autism, but what category she'll be placed in at school to determine the additional support she needs in her IEP. She has a lot of supports in her IEP that weren't necessarily being adhered to this particular year, because in her mind, it was the teacher's mind. It was, oh, she's fine. She can do all the things. I know she can. I know she can. No one's doubting that. But with Jayla, you have to take her through baby steps. Even Jackson has to be taken through baby steps, okay? Any child, a lot of children have to be taken through baby steps. You can't just throw them on a bike with no training wheels and expect them to just ride the bike with no problem and not fall off the bike, okay? It's not just for special needs kids. It applies to all kids. Third grade is a very tough transitional year for a lot of kids, not just special needs kids. So be prepared to fight, honey. Be prepared. Okay, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. The meeting she has coming up is called a RED meeting. So if you have any experience with that, please comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And let me know your thoughts on the things that I'm sharing with you guys. If you guys have dealt with something similar, please share them down below because it could help someone else. Outside of that, I want to give you guys an update. Stay tuned. I'll give you guys an update after we have our next meeting with the assistant principal and the principal. And yeah, wish us luck. Wish us luck. But Jayla and Jackson are both doing amazing, thankfully, now. Not that Jackson wasn't, and not that Jayla wasn't doing well, but this was very much something that needed to be remedied, because this year would have been traumatic for her if it hadn't been, okay? Advocate for your child. And be prepared, because you're going to continuously advocate for your child. It's not over, okay? I love y'all. Hit a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I love y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next video.